Okay guys, so the trailer for Dragon's Rising Season 4 is out, even though there were some problems with the English version of it, but let's not talk about that and move to the topic of this video, which is a whole minute-and-a-half trailer. It begins with some scenes which we've already seen before in the teaser for Season 4, and now it's where it gets interesting. We can hear the Archdragon of Life saying that all the realms are connected and see how the energy flows through those giant trees in the Whispering Woods, illuminating them and just making them look amazing. Then, Lloyd states that he thinks he has already reached his true potential, but the Archdragon claims that there are more than one true potentials, meaning that Lloyd will probably have to face something dangerous once again. He embarks on an adventure, which the Archdragon says to be treacherous. He leaves alone and the gates covered in vines close behind him. He immediately gets illuminated by the light, and the next scene is in a completely different place. It might be a meadow, but it's probably still close to the Whispering Woods, as it's still very greenery. He gets tangled in some vines and struggles to free himself from them, but that's where the clip ends. So basically, this will be some sort of a trial for Lloyd. We don't really know what this is going to be about, but definitely about his true potential, and yeah, that's about it. Another clip begins this time with this weird looking mechanism which I thought to be a source, but many people assume is just a place from where the elemental monsters will come out. What makes it more possible is the fact that right after this clip there are other ones where elemental monsters appear and spread chaos just like usual villainous factions in Ninjago. Another interesting scene is the one where Sora and Frag fight Wildfire. It might be some sort of a conflict between them, as it doesn't look like training, and Wildfire is known for her little attitude. Also, during those couple fighting scenes, the elemental monsters seem to be stronger than I thought, but it's probably because the ninja lack their elemental powers, which actually explains everything. The next clip is one of the most significant in the whole trailer, as we get to know something new. It looks like some sort of a meeting, giving me vibes of the Council of the Crystal King. Dr. LaRoe orders the other loyalists to find a weapon that looks a lot different than in the sets, but it's fine as long as in the series it looks nice. It's said to be called the Weapon of Desolation, which makes a lot of sense to me. What might she need the weapon for? Not really sure. We might talk about that in another video, as it's just speculating, but for now, let's move on to another scene, which is basically where ninja find out that their powers are all messed up and they can't control them at all. Wildfire even burns a house while trying to fight the mutation monster in this medieval city, which is the Old Town. Yeah, I somehow didn't realize it or just missed this fact, but the medieval city shown in the teaser a few weeks ago is the Old Town. In my video of analyzing this teaser, I was wondering what it could be, by the way, so it's a bit ironic. But as for the trailer, it shows ninja fighting the elemental monsters and nothing special in particular, but the one scene that caught my attention is Cole fighting a loyalist in a really weird place, and they haven't shown us how this place looks again, so we kind of don't have a clue what is it. It might be Imperium honestly, but we are not sure once again. What I love is how Cole parries the loyalist's blow with his shoulder pad. Bro's just aura farming, literally. If Cole will be like that in whole Season 4, it might be official return of his prime from the pilots and first seasons. Some people speculate they might be Sora's parents, but for me it could be some random Imperians as well. But I just wanted to let you know that there's a possibility of Sora's parents' lore returning. The next scene that appears is Jay saying that to become a ninja he has to regain his forgotten memories. And the place that has his memories is the administration. Well, at least I think so, because that's what makes the most sense to me. But the thing I wonder about is how they ended up in the Land of Madness. I thought that Russ sent them far away from Ninjago, and from what we know, the Land of Madness is kind of close, as Lloyd, Arin and Sora traveled there using Destiny's Bounty in Season 1. So my theory is that they were actually sent to the Land of Monsters, just as we expected earlier, but since they were with Kai, they managed to escape this place without much trouble. Why? After the merge, Kai was sent to the Land of Monsters, and after he managed to return to the monastery, he began exploring the newly merged realms. That's how he ended up in the Land of Madness. What I mean is that he knows the map of the merged lands better than anyone else, as he was in many places and saw many things. Also, if they ended up in the Land of Monsters, Kai would get everyone away as fast as possible, as it's one of the most dangerous places in the Ninjago universe. Also, what kind of confirms that they were sent to the Land of Monsters is one of the next scenes where they are riding Jay's transforming car through a desert, which basically means they will have to travel a pretty long distance since they have to use a car, right? Okay, enough about that, and let's move on to the next scene, which is Jay blasting into a barrier in some cave. I think it's just an entrance to the administration and not really something important, but I guess we will see. Then, a mysterious agent appears, and if you thought that's the administrator, think again. Would they really show us someone that important in the trailer if we haven't seen him before? I mean, they probably would because it's Lego, but I think it's just a sidekick of his and he won't really play a great part in this, but he claims that there are things that Jay will never understand, and I wonder what could he mean by that. Maybe something about the administrator, not quite sure. After that, Frax's dad appears on the screen, and honestly I don't see anything interesting in him except for the fact that everything in the old town seems so old, along with Frax's father. Just kidding, guys. The next significant clip is absolutely insane as it shows Lloyd falling into some void, breaking the floor. This looks like it could be another one of his visions, and that explains the part in the teaser where I thought it looked like snow and believed that the Neverrealm was back. Here I am being wrong again, but hey, I enjoyed that theory very much, so don't blame me. So this is probably his vision, and it's unlikely that the Neverrealm will return then, but I guess what we've got is pretty cool too, right? Another vision, yeah, like we needed more mysteries. Nah, I'm just joking. I really enjoyed those visions. Maybe the Source Dragons will finally explain what was the meaning behind the graves of the ninja in one of Lloyd's visions in Season 1. Let's move on to the next interesting clip, which is basically everything shaking, and Frax with his father are trying to grab some sort of a magical device probably, because once they both get hold of it, you can see that it begins to slow down, the shaking I mean. We don't have a single clue what this might mean, but I assume it's some sort of instability in Frax's elemental power, but I also wonder what could the sign Frax is holding mean. Okay guys, I translated it from Ninjago language to English and it says warning, but the rest of the sign is unclear. Maybe the place they are in is dangerous and without this device everything around you starts shaking. That's just my guess and not really a theory, but yeah. After that, there are a couple more fighting scenes, but nothing really that important except for Lloyd in his Draconus form, which looks absolutely amazing, and I think everyone can agree on that. The trailer looks absolutely insane, and when I was already hyped up before it was released, now I am just almost shaking with emotions and can't wait for the whole season to leak. What? I mean to be officially released by Lego, of course. So yeah guys, that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe and I appreciate you watching till the end. See you in the next one.